Welcome to an all-new episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Aluchi. Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Aluchi, aka the Elusive Pundit. How are you feeling? I am feeling good. We just finished the February series on power dynamics in romantic relationships, and we're moving over to the holy month of March, and we are going to be talking about wisdom, but not just any random wisdom. We are going to be finding wisdom from the 3 books in the Bible that teaches us about wisdom. So the first book is the Book of Proverbs, the second one is Ecclesiastes, and the third one is Job. I hope I'm saying the second one right. I've been practicing, okay? And I wanted to actually do this series a long time ago, but obviously I had to take a break from Looks and Wisdom as I was dealing with my own personal trauma. And now I'm back and I'm fulfilling all the promises I made to myself. So what inspired this series on wisdom this month of March is when God introduced me to Job and Job's situation. But I will get into the depth of it when we are talking about the book of Job. But really, it introduced me to something that I didn't know about existence, and I was very happy. Obviously, I had to get a Job because I've already understood the other 2 principles covered by Ecclesiastes as well as the book of Proverbs. So I'm excited to be doing this series, and as much as I can, I will make my own personal examples. And that's just because I've been through the stuff and I'm not like ashamed to share it. And I always feel like it's always better that way. I love making examples with other people, but I always feel like I'm more comfortable with sharing my own story. Without further ado, in March, we are focusing on wisdom from the Bible. And this week we are focusing on the book of Proverbs. So what do we know about the book of Proverbs? Oh, so before we get into that, I have decided I'm going to focus on 3 talking points. What is the book, whichever book we're talking about, and what is the core principle of that book, and later on examples of how we find wisdom in that book. So I don't want to like overburden the situation. I will put a disclaimer that says that I am not a Bible fundi. I dabble in the Bible whenever God directs me to it, or if I find something interesting that I need to go and research. So no, I will not be sharing any Bible quotes. You will not be getting a sermon from me. I will be looking at each of the chapters from an overarching view, which is sort of like the main theme, and I will not be going verse by verse. You guys can go to church for that. Okay, so without further ado, the book of Proverbs. I titled this episode, How to Live a Good Life. And obviously that's what we learn on the book of Proverbs. So the first thing that we need to understand about the book of Proverbs, which is chapter 1 to 9, is basically telling us exactly what the Proverbs is, which is a female teacher who believes that there is an overarching creative force that guides our lives. And in this overarching creative force that guides our life, there is something called wisdom. And basically it works on cause and effect. What you put out is basically what you get. So this overarching force that we call wisdom basically works mainly on a core theme, which is fearing the Lord. And we can go back and forth about what the Lord is, but I believe that we all come into this world with a predetermined destination of what our possibility is in this world. And a lot of people call that the universe, the gut, internal guide, the soul, or whatever it is. I believe that the Lord falls under the same category. So basically what the book of Proverbs teaches us is that there is this creative force that informs how we should be living. And the main thing that guides this creative force is the fear of the Lord. So what is this force that is wisdom saying? So the first thing that the force of wisdom says is that when we make bad decisions, we are working against wisdom. That it means that we are conjuring bad karma. And then the second thing is when we make good decision and work with wisdom, we are creating good karma. So basically, wisdom says if you make bad decision, expect bad things. If you make good decision, expect good decision. There is the law of cause and effect in life that governs everything that we do. The Proverbs talks about life being black and white. It's a yes and a no. It's a good and a bad. It's good karma, bad karma. There is nothing in between. And this good karma, bad karma, good wisdom, good decisions, bad decisions are informed by this overarching force. And then all of that is then going to lead us to the third segment of the Book of Proverbs. And then the third segment is what are some of the lessons that we are finding that can help us be good at life. And let's get to the first one. So the first one again reiterates everything that we've said before, which is the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. That is Proverbs 1 verse 7. The second wisdom that we find from the book of Proverbs says that hatred stirs dissension, but love covers all wrongs. So basically, love is the way to go, and hate will bring about destruction into your life. The third wisdom that we find from the book of Proverbs says, a beautiful person who exercises no wisdom is like a gold ring in a pig's nose. And of course, that is Proverbs 11 verse 12. The fourth wisdom that we find from the book of Proverbs is that wealth is useless on the day of wrath, but love saves us from death. Basically, your money is not going to save you anything other than to stop you from being poor. I know this for a fact because there was a time in my life where I had all the money that I needed, but I was unhappy because what I needed in life was not happening, and that was love. The fifth one is truthful tips endure forever, the lying tongue only for a moment. So basically, lies will never stand the test of time, and the truth will always prevail. The sixth wisdom that we find says, every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take cover under him. So basically, God doesn't lie. Whatever he promises you, he is going to make happen. And we all need to just find refuge in God. I think I'll do like two more because I am enjoying this. He who oppresses the poor shows contempt to their maker, but whoever is kind to the poor honors God. So basically, you should never shame anybody who's got less than you because you're making God mad. And if you are showing love to the poor people, then you're being on God's good side of things. Okay, I think the last one I will do is Proverbs 16 verse 9. It says, in his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. You and I will always be happier by following God's plan for our lives instead of our own short-sighted schemes. And I mean, this merges very, very well with a topic that I will cover on the final episode of the Wisdom series, which I think the final episode or the second last episode, which basically talks about free will. And I think that's it. So basically, the book of Proverbs has all of this wisdom from chapters 10 to 30 something. I forgot what number it ends. So basically, every advice that you need to find is there about love, about your job, about your partner, about your friend, about your foe, about anything. The Proverbs has it covered for you. And again, I really just want to get into this the last time. So the book of Proverbs is a teacher, and it basically says that there is an overarching black and white template that we all need to follow for our lives, and it doesn't change, and we all need to follow it, and it's going to guide us to the good life. Every good decision is rewarded with a good deed, and every bad decision is rewarded with a bad deed. That also is connected to your karma. Bad decisions, bad karma. Good decisions, good karma. And then the main thing is that you need to be fearing the Lord. Then you can move on to the next segment of the book of Proverbs, which basically gives you guidance black and white guidance about how to survive, like how lies will be believed for a short time, but the truth goes the distance. How we can make plans about how we want, but the Lord directs the steps, and you're foolish if you think He doesn't. About the fact that if you shame a poor person, you're making the Lord angry. And if you give to a poor person, you're making the Lord happy. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I will see you next week for another exciting episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Lucci, aka the Elusive Pundit. Please do comment. Please do subscribe. Please do tell your friends. How you doing? Okay, let's get to the editing part.